I'm Cody O'Reilly with JoinTeamHunt, sharing real stories from the West, insights from the hunt, and new ways to connect with fellow outdoor enthusiasts. Be part of the action. Subscribe to JoinTeamHunt. Rate this episode and tell a buddy, because you're not getting any younger and those mountains aren't getting any easier. All right, Ryan Ingham, welcome to the show, man. I'm pumped for this one.
Thanks,
You're
Cody.
a sponsored athlete with Hammer Nutrition and UltraSpire, race vests, the whole deal. You're out there representing some serious brands. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thanks, Cody. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Before we dive in, how's life down in Arizona right now?
Warmer than it should be.
Right. Well, we're freezing our tails off up here in Minnesota. We're in a cold stretch. Last weekend, it was about negative 30 degrees, and I got llamas outside, and I was having to take care of the below degree weather. So it was a little bit brutal, but we're getting through it, man. I'm living vigorously through you right now.
Well, it's warmer than usual.
Right on. So before we get into your ultra running, what do you do for a living when you're not casually running distances that make most people's cars overheat?
I'm an Army civilian. I work for Department of War at a weapons test center. So we test everything from drones, artillery, vehicles, ammunition, sensors, you name it.
That sounds awesome. Right up my alley. I work at Oshkosh, not the defense section, but we build garbage trucks. But I kind of know some of that industry, and that keeps me entertained just listening to you talk about it.
Oh yeah, I've worked with Oshkosh before, so I'm familiar with them.
That's awesome, man. So I gotta ask, when you're running 100+ mile ultra races, does a marathon even cross your mind when you're running ultra races?
No. And in fact, I have never officially ran a marathon distance.
Really?
Yeah, I ran half marathons, I ran ultras, some shorter trail races, but I've never ran an actual official marathon.
Why is that, Ryan?
Most of those marathons take place on the road, and I'd rather be on the trail in the mountains.
Okay. What do you get out of the trail or in the mountains, that type of running?
I think solitude.
Solitude?
Yeah. Love the outdoors, love being out there. You get to see wildlife. You don't get to see a bunch of people. There's not a lot of vehicles and buildings. You just get that solitude, that peace. You're just hammering out those miles to yourself.
Nice, man. I believe you're also a Spartan SGX coach. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yes. Yeah,
So-
I used to work with Spartan Race as one of their SGX coaches and obstacle specialist coach.
Okay.
So we'd help teach people how to get through certain obstacles, different techniques they could use, that sort of thing.
That's awesome, man. If someone was wanting to work with you or kind of just get into that healthy lifestyle, how do they reach out to you?
You can reach out to me through social media. Ryan Ingham Endurance. Yeah, probably the best place.
Awesome. I know I got just friends and family that, I got a guy that loves running himself. He would like to do an ultra race at some point, but just hasn't got there. But he's run. That's all he does, man. And to your point, he doesn't really get into those marathons, but that solitude and kind of running out there in the mountains or getting on some elevation, he's all about that. So
oh, yeah, sounds like he's ready then.
Yeah, right. The Cocodona 250. Let's talk about the beast. This thing is insane, man.
That thing is a beast.
What is it?
So that I did it the first year, the inaugural year. It was 258 miles through some of the roughest terrain in Arizona. Most of it was single track. A lot of the course is very, very remote areas.
Okay.
In fact, I went through a lot of areas where I go hunting where you typically don't see people. So that was kind of cool.
I bet it was, man.
But it starts in Black City Canyon, just north of Phoenix. It runs up through the Bradshaw Mountains, and it goes over to Prescott, through Prescott Valley, over Mingus Mountain to Jerome through Sedona up to Flagstaff.
Some beautiful country. I was just out there. You and I were kind of talking before, but I was hunting around Prescott a little bit. That country's awesome, man. Especially once you get up towards Flagstaff. If I could live down in Arizona, I'd have to post up around Flagstaff, I would have to say.
Yeah, that's a good area.
That race is coming up here shortly too, right? In May, 4th or time frame, something like that.
Yeah, coming up in May. I think it's the 4th or 5th year.
Okay. So walk us through a little bit of that race. How many days are you out there? What was your kind of strategy going into it?
My strategy was just stay consistently moving.
Okay.
Forward motion, not to push too hard early on. I think one of the biggest challenges with that race is the heat if it gets hot.
Yeah.
So that and now inaugural year we did it, it was very warm. It was very warm for Arizona that time of year.
Wow.
And that first day on the way into Crown King, everyone was running out of water. There was a lot of heat casualties. Race teams were actually bringing water down the trail in from aid stations because people weren't making it to the aid station.
Oh, no. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, so that first day was pretty rough. I just tried to take it easy, go through that, make it in the first night. So the first night I made it up to Prescott, and then I got some sleep, a couple hours, and
Okay.
then went on after that. For me, the biggest thing was the heat. Going through Prescott Valley that next day, I think it got up in the 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got a little heat exhaustion. There were some videos of me on social media. It's 90 out, and I'm wrapped in a sleeping bag, shivering like it's below zero.
Yeah, I think I was watching some of that. That's unreal, man. You think of 90-degree heat, and then all of a sudden your body just kinda goes into shock, and you're, like, freezing and shivering, and you can't get with it at times.
Right. But yeah, that one it's just a grinder. You just got to keep grinding through it. And when you start to get in those higher elevations, heat's not as much of a factor, but when it goes into the night, the lower temperatures become a
Yeah.
factor.
If we could let's step back to that heat. I got a good question for you. So, like, when you're running, it's 90 degrees, your feet are it's probably hotter. Like, your feet are getting hotter because it's closer to the dirt, the black concrete. You're not on concrete, you're kinda on trails more, but how do you deal with that? Are you getting a lot of cramps in your calves and your Achilles, or is that not really a thing with you and you kind of figured out tips, tricks to kinda get through that? I know just for me, I played college ball, and when we would play on the rubber fields with the fake turf, that really became a factor. Like, it'd be like 100 degrees out, but on that turf, it was 130, 140 degrees, and
Right.
you'd cramp up and you'd have all these issues, and there's just I'm wondering how if you've felt that when you're doing these races or
I could feel the heat reflecting off the ground middle of the day. You could
Yeah,
you
for
could
sure.
definitely feel the heat coming up. It's hotter.
Yep.
Uh, I didn't really have any cramps. The biggest thing for that's just managing your water intake and your electrolytes.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's a little bit different. There's kind of science to it. You could actually drink too much water, and that becomes a problem.
Okay.
So you just have to watch that. And once you figure out the right intake for you, with the temperature and elevation that you're in, you could usually manage it pretty well.
Right. That's cool. What is your So how do you eat out there? I mean, what do you do? You're not bringing a whole bunch of food or anything with. How does that work?
No, no. So I usually take Perpetuum from Hammer Nutrition.
Okay.
So it has the proper carbs, fats, protein, that sort of thing.
And that's just kind of a gel?
That is actually a mix that I mix in my water bottle.
Okay. Right on.
And then they have Heed, which has electrolytes in it. I use that in my water bottle, and then they also have gels. So I usually use that to get me while I'm running. And then whenever I get to an aid station, it's kind of whatever you're craving.
Right.
I'm not a sugary person. I don't like sweet stuff. You'll never catch me drinking a soda. But
Right.
50 miles into a race, I come into an aid station and I'm craving and slamming Mountain Dew. So
That's
when
hilarious.
it gets to that point, whatever you're craving, eat it.
Right. So how many days did that take you to finish that race?
That one took me 119 hours.
100? Holy cow.
Yeah, and I slept about, I think, 8 hours total the whole time.
Okay. What did you place in that race? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember what I placed.
What is your routine for getting ready for a race? Walk us through that. What does that look like? So you're gearing up for a Cocodona 250-mile race. What do you do? When do you start preparing for that? And then kind of walk us through a weekly regimen of yours.
So for something like that, I plan that out months and months ahead of time.
Right.
So say 6 months out, I take a look at what my training's been volume wise and strength training to see where I'm at. And then that's where I base it off of going into it. So the closer I get to the race, the more my volume's picking up,
Okay.
but my speed may slow down. So then I start focusing more on time on feet.
Right.
So when we're, say, a month out from the race, an average week would be 70, 80 miles of running.
Okay.
And that also includes a little bit of hiking. Whenever I go out hiking, it's usually a heavy pack and trying to look for hills. And it's just building that time on your feet.
Right. What do you have rest days? I mean, what does that look like? Are you running every single day up into that race, or you got a couple rest days in there, or is your rest days you're throwing some biking in there? Are you kind of switching it up with different muscle groups, or how does that work?
So rest day for me is one day completely off.
Okay.
If I'm really sore from that week, I might do a little bit of light biking or swimming. But
Right
other
on.
than that, it's completely off. And then the week leading into the race, it's pretty much nothing other than just light walking. Just keep it moving.
Cool. And then I'm sure there's a whole bunch of techniques to it and like how many miles you're doing. Like you probably go hard. Do you focus on the time or you just, what are you like when you're going through your routine, right? So, like, I'm just going to lay this out for you. So, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like the days of the week. Monday, are you going to run like a 50 miler? Then Tuesday, you're going to run 75. And then, like, how do you progress forward? Is that making sense?
Yeah, so I usually do it based on time. So
Based
say
on
on
time?
yeah, Monday I may go for a 2-hour run, and that's usually broken up into some sort of intervals.
Okay.
So that'd be like aerobic pace and then anaerobic for so many minutes and switching it up. And I may do that for the first hour, and then the second hour is just slow, easy pace.
Yeah.
Tuesday, maybe an hour of hill sprints. A hill I could run for 1 to 2 minutes up, all out, easy jog down, keep doing it for the duration of time.
Nice.
Wednesday may be leg strength training and an hour easy run that day.
Okay.
Thursday could be core strength work, an hour easy run, and then usually Friday and Saturday are my longer runs. And that can vary anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, depending on where I'm at in my training and what I think I need.
Okay. So you're kind of building that up through the week, which makes complete sense to me. And then you're kind of backing it off again on repeat the next week following up.
Correct.
How do you not get injured out there? Because you're putting your body through hell and back, right? So what are some techniques for you that you've kind of lived or died from learning through all these races that you put your body through?
I think the biggest thing is focusing on your running form.
Form
So I
tech.
worked I worked with a running coach at one point to learn better technique, foot placement, that sort of thing, and
Yeah,
it made a huge difference.
I bet.
I mean, something runners always hear is it's bad for your knees.
Yeah.
It's not bad for your knees. Running like shit's bad for your knees.
Right.
But if you run in good form, you'll be okay.
Okay. I know
So I
for
think
me.
that's the biggest thing. If you start having an issue somewhere, figure out what the issue is. Is it just tight tendons, sore muscles, or have you really started to overuse something? And then you
Yeah.
need to focus on a little bit of mobility work and work that issue out before you push it too hard.
Right. So let's say it is a knee issue. What is something that could correct that quickly?
Most knee issues I've seen, I think, are related to IT band, and
IT
the
band.
IT band being tight. So there's mobility work you could do. You could try to release it yourself. It's real hard to release it. So if you go see a massage specialist who actually knows sports medicine and knows what they're doing, and they can help you release it, most of the
Right.
time that fixes that issue.
Okay. For me, it's my Achilles tendon and my calf. For whatever reason, when I'm trying to, and just to put this in perspective, I am a little bit heavier. I got a lot more muscle on me. I'm 6 foot, 220 pounds. Not a whole lot of fat at all. But whenever I try to push it and run more miles and do incline work, whenever I go out to the mountains, I have an issue with it's either my Achilles tendon or right that lower calf, and I can never figure it out. I back off on it, use the Theragun, I cup it. So there's got to be some sort of technique that I got going on. Maybe it's just an insole or something that is off with me.
Yeah, it could be just some mobility work you need to focus on.
Right.
Sometimes it originates from a place that doesn't even have an issue, right? Like what you're explaining, it could be the arch of your foot.
Right.
And you just have a tight arch that you need to roll out, and that would help release that Achilles, and then it quits pulling on the calf.
Yep. And I honestly think I shattered my right ankle probably 10 years ago, broke it into like 30 different places. So my left one is the one I always have issues with, and it's probably overcompensating for my right one that's
Right.
really tight, and it'll never be the same as it's
Right.
always overcompensating. It's a pain in the tail, but
Yeah.
something I gotta deal with every day, but we get through it. So when you're let's get into kind of the mindset on an or not a marathon, an ultra race when you're going through it. One thing I admire about ultra runners is the mental toughness. I mean, the Kokodanov is no easy feat. Pushing through the pain, fatigue, heat, cold, all of it, that kind of perseverance. I mean, it shapes you as an individual in a big way. What are some of your biggest accomplishments, whether it is racing or in life? What are some of those?
I think, well, for ultras in particular, the mental toughness is a huge part.
Right.
You're stronger than you think you are, and you could do more than you think you can.
Right.
But that's one of those things where you're forged in fire, right?
Right.
The more times you experience it, you push through those hard times. Hey, I could do this. Next time is not as bad, right? And the next time it's worse, you push through it. And it's just that continued growth. I experienced a lot of that early on when I was 17. I joined the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, some time overseas. So there was a lot of opportunities for building that mental toughness,
Okay.
embracing the suck, if you will.
Right.
And then when it came to ultras, it was just about experience.
Did
After so many hours of pushing through and dealing with it, and you think, this is it. I'm not going to be able to go any further. Before you know it, you're pushing through that next mile. Things loosen up. You start to feel a little bit better. You get your 10th win.
right.
And then the next couple miles are easy. And then you may have some of the easiest miles you ran the entire race could be the last few miles of the race. But it's that experience that you gain putting yourself in that position.
Right on. When you grew up, were you kind of built that way from a young adulthood? Was your father, did he like to do tough stuff like running marathon? I mean, were you kind of grown up with that, or did you yourself kind of, okay, this is who I am. I'm going to make a name of myself.
Growing up, I did all the typical sports, baseball, football, that sort of thing.
Right.
I have a smaller build, so I was always the smaller guy on the football team. So that takes a lot,
Right.
right? Especially against the bigger guys.
Yeah, for sure.
My parents, they weren't active at all
Okay.
in that sense, but they were very outdoorsy. So
Outdoorsy.
going out hiking, camping, riding motocross, water skiing,
Right.
snowboarding, skiing, that sort of thing. I did grow up with that. So it was kind of more of the extreme sports that I was exposed to.
Right.
But I was
Interesting.
never athletic in the sense that I hated running. I didn't run track or anything like that. It wasn't until basically I went into the Marine Corps that I actually started running. And even then I didn't like it.
When you go into a big race, how do you chew that down? Is it 1 mile at a time? I wouldn't think you would try to tackle that beast at like, in your mental state, like, right, when you're running that race, it's not you're going thinking of 100 miles or 200 miles, it's 1 mile at a time, I would think, but, how do you tackle it?
I think it depends on the race, whether
Okay.
it's getting to a certain checkpoint or crossing a certain mountain range.
Yeah.
People ask me in the race, "How's it going? How you feeling?" I always say, "I don't know. It's too early to tell." Right?
Right.
It's not if; it's a matter of time of when you're going to have an issue or when it's going to suck.
Right.
So I kind of look forward to that part in a sense. Let's say I'm doing a 50 first 25 miles are what they are. You start getting to 30 plus, and I'm just waiting for that part when it sucks, right? The part when it challenges you, I'm waiting for that to come. For me, that's when it begins. That's when the event begins. We start to push through and see what kind of day we're gonna have.
Maybe when you get a thorn in your foot?
Oh yeah, I've got some.
So how do you push through that? Because
Yeah.
that could put a grown man down and on its
Yeah, so Cocodona, it was probably in the first 15 miles or so, I stepped on a yucca, and those got big thorns on them, and
Oh,
it went
yeah.
right
Sure.
right through the bottom of my shoe and right into my foot. But I pulled it out, and it is what it is.
Right.
And at that section of the race, we had to cover 30 miles until the next aid station. So it's not like I could just pull over and call it quits, or someone's gonna come get me. That only option was at the next aid station. So lace the shoe back up and keep trucking along.
Right. I think in today's age or even back way then, I mean, when you're growing up, when you feel pain, it's programmed to like stop, stop. Like whenever you get pain, like your mental process is to like hold up or slow down or basically come to a halt. But when you can kind of think through that and process that, push through that and kind of lean into that, so to speak, that's always kind of helped me from my perspective. It's like, okay, we're programmed to basically, okay, there's something wrong. This is painful. But if you can take your mind to kind of push through that and lean into it, that's kind of helped me and when I'm in difficult situations.
Yeah, you just gotta focus on what the issue is and what the next step is, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Are your kids following in your footsteps at all?
They are. They are. They're definitely little beasts. They go out and run with me. They have at a very young age. They're getting into hunting. My boy just started archery hunting this year.
Okay.
So they're definitely following in footsteps.
That's awesome. I bet you're a proud parent.
I am very proud.
Yeah, for sure.
I try not to push it on them too much, but at the same time, I don't take it real easy on them either. So some days they have a choice if they want to go run. Other days they don't have a choice.
That's awesome,
It's
man.
it's it's just what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think by doing that over time, it just becomes natural for them. For them to get woken up early on a Saturday morning to go for a run, they don't necessarily want to do it, but they're used to it. It's life.
Right. What are you trying to improve right now as a runner? Or what's your next big goal?
I don't have any goals or any races on the schedule right now. I've been trying to work through some back issues from an injury years ago. So I think the biggest thing for me right now is just focusing on building up that base again, building up that endurance that I had when I was running Cocodona 250,
Yeah.
and just try to manage that issue.
For people listening who want to challenge themselves, whether it's running or everyday life, what advice would you give?
Just get out there and do it. Pick a goal that you don't have to go run an ultra. You don't have to run a 5K, right? Even if it's just a mile. But pick a goal that you think is slightly unachievable, so that it's going to require you to push.
Right.
Right? If you're thinking about running, say, a 5K, and you think, yeah, I could probably do a 5K, just sign up for the 10K.
Yeah.
Push yourself just a little bit more. You'll build that mental toughness. You'll push through. You'll learn yourself better,
Right.
and you'll see that you're capable of more than you think you really are.
What has that mental toughness done for you in your everyday life? What do you take from that?
Well, I think when there's a big tragedy in life or something
Yeah.
like that, it allows you to compartmentalize it a little bit better and still focus on your other tasks that you need to take care of. Just putting things in different areas, different groups, so you
Mhm.
can maintain your focus. I
That's
think
cool.
that's really helped a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Handling stressful situations, right?
Yeah.
That helps that out a lot.
What else on running or working out? Is there anything else that you want to touch on or got questions for me or
No, I don't think so. For me, the biggest thing is just a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah,
I still want to be able to get around and get out to the mountains when I'm in my 60s and 70s. I don't want to be stuck to a couch.
absolutely.
That heart attack that someone has at 50 started at 30.
But yeah, for sure.
So,
I've been following a lot of these doctors on Instagram and they put a ton of content and so much. It's awesome now. You have them on your social media and you learn a ton. I mean, some of that information is very valuable and it's showing that just to get your body in motion, just hit 10,000 steps every single day. What that can do for you on an everyday and extend your life and the longevity of everything is just awesome in my opinion. And kind of what I've learned from just social media nowadays.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely a good tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the biggest thing, just a healthy lifestyle.
Right. You a big whole food kind of guy, 90% or
Yeah, definitely whole foods, healthy
Yep.
stuff. I try to avoid the crap foods, the processed stuff.
Yep. Yeah, junk coming in is junk going out and leaving you with a little extra, right?
And you can't outwork a bad diet.
No, not at all, man.
So,
Yeah, I've really the last couple of years I've really tried to make sure that everything is all natural, that is coming into my body anyways. And you definitely can feel a difference when you're even like if you're eating something that is not natural, like a chicken breast or something, you can feel the texture, you can feel the difference that it's gonna that day, even with the effects afterwards. It's crazy.
yeah.
All right, switching gears, let's talk hunting. What does your physical prep look like before a hunt, or what do you do to get ready for a hunt?
Well, I usually work out or run every day, so I'm ready to go.
You're geared up, you're ready, man.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
hell yeah,
go.
that's a that's an easy question for you.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
That's the biggest thing. I try to shoot my bow weekly. Doesn't always happen. Life gets in the way. But if it's an archery hunt coming up, it's definitely every day.
Yep.
Shooting, getting in those reps.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
Yeah. For somebody heading into the mountains, what kind of training would you recommend for them?
Time on your feet.
Time on your feet. Right on.
Biggest thing. Yeah. Strength training, core work, leg strength, the biggest thing. Time on your feet, building that endurance. So can you go out and hike 6 miles? And then can you go out and hike 6 miles in the mountains? It's two different things.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it'll slap you in the face too if you're not ready for the elevation.
Oh yeah.
How was your hunting season last year?
It was good. It was real good. So I drew a unit 9 bull elk tag
Nice.
archery. Yeah. It was 16 years of putting in, so it was a long wait.
Is an absolute stud from the pictures that I seen on
Thank you.
Instagram.
Thank you. Yeah, nice 7x7.
Yeah. Walk us through
Yeah,
that hunt.
yeah. So that's actually my first elk hunt.
That's awesome.
First, first time I drew a tag.
How many days did it take you?
First day.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. The first morning. Yeah. So a buddy of mine, Josh White, he's got a lot of experience and guides with Arizona Desert Outfitters.
Okay.
He guided me on that, and we met a couple other guys up there that have also been guides previously, and another guy had a tag. The rut was slow, it was warm, there wasn't a lot going on. Everyone was seeing bulls, but not a lot of big bulls, and
Okay.
that unit is known for 390 plus bulls. it,
You are
it produces some monsters.
Yeah, for sure.
So me being my first elk hunt, I kind of relied on Josh, his expertise.
Mhm.
Um, Another guy in Cat, Manny, he's got a ton of experience up there, and he
Nice.
said, "Don't shoot anything opening day. No matter what you do, don't shoot it opening day." So we head out opening morning, chasing bugles, listening in the dark. Got in on a few bulls, nothing that we were really looking for, some smaller bulls. So we just kept poking around, and it was late morning. We heard a couple bugles. We went after one, never saw that bull, and we chased towards another one. And we got within about 150 yards of where we thought he was at. Josh let out a bugle, and then he got up out of his bed, and then he came in. And when he came in, he came fast.
Wow.
Yeah. So I took a knee. I had a little shooting window underneath a tree and over a down log and some brush. So when he came in, he started raking a small tree. So I could tell he was a big bull, a real big bull.
Yeah.
I didn't get a look at the amount of points or anything.
Yep.
And then as he started to walk into where the shooting lane was at, I was kind of relying on Josh to let me know.
Mhm.
And Josh got a good look at him, and Josh said, "Shoot him, shoot him."
What time of the month was this? Was this early September?
Yeah, early September.
Nice.
Yeah, so he walked in and he stopped in that little window opening about 42 yards. And I nailed him, drilled him, perfect shot. He stood there, didn't even act like he got hit. And then he looked over at us, still didn't seem like he was hit. So I was starting to get another arrow ready. And then he took a big breath when he saw the movement,
Yeah.
trying to get our scent. And when he took that breath, he knew. He's like, "Oh, something isn't right."
Right.
So he took off from there, and we gave him a few hours just to make sure he was down and not push him. And when we came back, he only went 200 yards.
What were you shooting for, arrow and
Arrow, I was shooting, what is it, Carbon Express,
right
and
on.
the broadhead was that G5, the dead meat, the 3 blade expandable.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so I center punched a rib, and it broke right
Went
through the
right
rib and
through
went
it.
through.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Walk us through the emotion that you felt when you first bull you ever shot, you got it down in Arizona, you're walking up to this thing.
I don't even know if you can explain it really. Amazed, a little speechless.
That's cool.
There was a 4-letter word that was yelled out.
Right.
A lot of excitement.
Yeah.
But yeah, stud of a bull. Super proud of that. I was excited. Can't be thankful enough to Josh and those guys for helping me out.
Yeah.
It was an easy pack out.
Was
We
it?
actually weren't very far from the road, so
So you didn't
I
even have
didn't
to
even.
rely on all your training.
No, I didn't even have to load the pack up. So it wasn't a 6 mile hump to get it out to anywhere.
Yeah.
That part I was pretty lucky.
For sure.
Uh,
That's awesome. What other states do you hunt in?
Mostly just Arizona. I've
Arizona?
hunted in California. I used to hunt up there for a few years. I'd backpack into a wilderness area in Northern California,
That's awesome.
hunting blacktail and black bear.
Blacktail and black bear. It's cool.
Yeah,
Looks like you got some hunting dogs too. Talk us through some of that.
I do. Yeah, I got some young dogs.
How many you got?
So I just picked up a new puppy last weekend, so we have 3.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I've always been amazed by lions and bears. That's my thing. Those things have always amazed me. I've always been intrigued by them.
Yeah.
Always wanted to hunt them. I've tried hunting them so many times by myself. Never been on a hound hunt or anything. One time I was in northern Arizona scouting for a hunt, and I came across a houndsman and started talking to him. And he asked me if I wanted to go out sometime and give him a call. So I did.
Yeah. For sure.
Not knowing at the time that he was a little bit of a houndsman legend. His name's Tim Deal. So he's been lion hunting longer than I.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he took me out. First hunt, we started a couple hours before sunup, looking for tracks. Found a few tracks. Tried to figure out which way the lion was going. tried to get the shorter end of it. It was probably a couple hours after sunup. We let the dogs go. Dogs started trailing it. And right away, they went into the nastiest drainage full of brush you could think of. And it's your job to keep up with the dogs.
Yep.
So that's exactly what we did. And it was hands and knees, and everyone's getting cuts and scratches. Everything in Arizona pokes you.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
And that went on for hours. So they end up crossing a huge canyon that we couldn't get through, and it was going to take too much time to where they were going. We think they had the lion treed for about 4 or 5 hours. We had to go back and get the side by sides, and it was a couple-hour drive to get around.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So when we finally got over there, the dogs, it was shortly before sundown. So never caught the lion, never saw it. By the time we got back to the truck, I want to say it was like a 16 or 17-hour day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then right then I knew I loved it.
You were hooked.
It's one of the toughest things you could do.
Right.
Yeah. So I loved it. I started going out more and more with them, and then I started learning from them. I just fell in love with it, and I knew I wanted my own dogs, and I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, I started picking up my own dogs and slowly building up my pack and learning from those guys and picking up the traits.
Why do you love it so much? What really hooks you?
Honestly, it's the hardest hunt you're gonna do.
Really? Why is that?
Well, the lions, they're always going to go up into the nastiest stuff you can
Okay.
find. So that's part of it. The dogs, they could smell the scent, but they don't see a track. They don't know which way it went. Half the time they're going the wrong way. They're backtracking it. So there's actually a lot on the houndsman's part that goes into it of finding the track, keeping the dogs on the track.
Yeah.
The lions like to make circles and go in and out of drainages, and the dogs could either lose the track or on the loop get confused and backtrack it. So there's a lot on the helmsman's part that goes into figuring out where the lion's going to go. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And then places they take you. They take you to the nastiest stuff that nobody's going to go to. And you
That-
get out in the worst country that nobody's going to hunt.
right.
Nobody wants to go out there. You go out there, you hardly ever see any tracks. You come across old artifacts or mining stuff, things that have just been out there for 100 years that no one's seen and no one's ever going to see. Yeah, they take you to caves and crevices you had no idea were there. They're not even on maps, and it's tough. It reminds me of an ultra.
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say that, man.
Yes, and Arizona being dry as it is, you have to keep those dogs hydrated too. So when you start out a hunt, your pack's loaded
Yeah, I
with
bet.
carrying water. Yeah. So it's not like a typical hunt where you go in light and come out heavy. We go in heavy and we may come out heavy, but most of the time we're coming back out light.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Describe that connection that you have with those dogs. Cause I know just for me, I got 4 llamas now, and there's means a little bit more to you when you're out there, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Especially when it's a dog that you raise from a puppy.
Oh yeah.
Just learning their traits. They all have a different personality. They all have different strengths and weaknesses. You could see expressions on their face or the way they act whenever something clicks with them. That's really cool, right? I mean, have had the dogs where they're scared to go through boulders and scared to climb up a ridge, and you show them, you kind of work them through it. They figure it out, and then that light bulb goes off, and it's kind of like raising a kid, right? They're like, "Oh, I can do that. That's easy."
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, you can do it. It's not that scary, you
Yeah.
know. And then the next thing you know, you can't slow the dog down, and he's gone, and he's trailing something.
For me, it's watching them work together as a team too. It's like, oh my gosh, especially like the struggles, right? There's times where it's taking you sometimes it clicks right away and they get it right away, but there's other techniques or tricks that you got to show them, and it takes a little bit more and it's a little harder. But then to watch all that come together out there on an incredible hunt, and they're kind of watching over your back and helping you along the way, it's just in my mind, it's amazing. Words can't even describe how good that feeling is when you have that connection and bond with some of your animals.
Yes, yes, it's definitely a lot of satisfaction to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's a dream hunt for you? What sits at the top?
I don't know. I'd like to catch a jaguar with a dog if I could.
Be wild, man.
You can't go out looking for jaguars, unfortunately. Probably if I could go down in Mexico with some of those houndsmen that do the research on the jaguars and catch a jaguar and help them collar it, I think would be the top hunt for me.
Wow. That sounds awesome, man. What do you get personally out of hunting? What has shaped you in your everyday life, or what can you take from hunting?
I think it's a lot of the same of running ultras, right? Or the pushing yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, the success rate on any hunt's very low, very low. So it
Right.
comes down to how much time do you want to put into it? How hard do you want to work? When you're hot, tired, and wore out, do you have it in you to push over another ridge? You know, what's one more ridge? Let's just see what's over the next one. I think it's that challenge, that adventure part of it that I really enjoy, and then that filters back into your everyday life.
What do you want to improve on, if anything, as a hunter or a man out there with a family?
I'd like to get better houndsman for sure.
Okay.
I want to be able to build my own pack, catch my own game on my own, figure it out. I'm still the new guy on the block, so I'm learning.
Yeah.
I have a huge learning curve on that one. So luckily, I have quite a few experts that I'm able to tag along.
That's awesome, man.
But no, just trickling that down to my kids. My kids each have a dog. They love getting out there, just getting them that experience, that love for the adventure,
Yeah, for sure.
getting them to build that confidence on their own and that ability to do it themselves, whether they decide to stick with that in life or not, or whichever direction life takes them, right?
Right.
I'd like to at least go through those challenges and see that they're capable more than they think they are.
Cool. What style of hunting do you like the most? Solo hunting with a team, spike camping way back in the mountains? What do you like? What style fits you?
I think my all-time favorite is archery backcountry
Right on.
and setting up a camp, a week in the wilderness with anything you need on your back, and you're 10 miles from the trailhead. So that's my all-time favorite.
I'm gonna have to twist your arm to get you out to come up to Montana or Wyoming one of these days on an elk hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. That's definitely my favorite, trying to figure out where you're gonna find water to get water, you're filtering water, you kinda have to ration your food. I really like that style.
I right there with you, man. I love the whole process that goes into a Western hunt. Just getting out there for weeks on end and enjoying God's creation. And there's a whole lot of suck when you get out there, but it is so rewarding when you can just look up and be amazed with like the scenery and being around the animals. Just the stuff that you see when you're out there every single day is incredible.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah. There's a lot to the world, and you're just a very tiny, small part.
Yep.
And when you're out there and you have to rely on yourself, you know just how small you are.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you come across a grizzly or a cougar or something, I mean, you got stories, but, I mean, you got your life is at risk too, and if one small little move or one wrong step, I mean, it can end just like that, and you gotta
Yeah.
make sure that you're crossing your I's, dotting your T's, and everything is good to go.
Oh, yeah, a misstep and a trip off a ridge, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about, are there any wild stories, hunting stories that you kinda wanna share or wanna touch on?
I don't know. I've had a lot of wild stuff. Yeah. None come to the top of my mind. I think some of the most wild stuff is chasing lions.
Yeah?
Yeah, seeing a lion up close. They're usually pretty tame when they're in the tree, but if they're not in the tree, or they could get a little bit of an attitude when the dog's getting in their face, and
Mhm.
you got to help pull those dogs back so they don't get hurt. It could get a little wild. It
I
could
bet.
definitely turn western in a second. That's for
Oh,
sure.
I'm sure. Have you had any of those situations where it's like, "Oh, man, this was close."
Luckily, I haven't yet.
That's awesome. Cool. What about for me? You got any questions for me?
You got any hunts coming up?
I don't even have a tag yet, so I just applied to Arizona, but I used all my, points last year. I was down there kinda by you and I were talking about this before that, but we got on, a couple big bulls, in our scouting days. 3 days I was out scouting. I saw 2 bulls that were probably right around 350. They're nice bulls. But when I had my rifle in my hand, I just never got an opportunity, and they kinda just hung out on private land, and I think the landowners went down on the boundary the opening morning and kinda kicked them up further onto the private land, and there was probably 2 days before we left, we had a nice opportunity to where it wasn't one of the real big bulls, but it was probably a 310, 320. I probably would've shot him at the time, and we saw them come out, and they were probably a mile away yet, but we had to go down this huge canyon and come way back up, and it took us probably twice as long as we would have liked. It took us about a half hour, 40 minutes to cover a mile. And we get in position and they were gone. They were back up on the private land and we blew our chance there. But I mean, we had a couple close calls. We saw a lot of elk, but just couldn't get it done on that was our Arizona trip. This year so I applied to Arizona again. I don't have any points, so more than likely probably won't get that. I applied to Idaho. We didn't get that one. I will be applying to Wyoming, Montana, and then New Mexico. We should more than likely be in Montana for elk and then probably down in Wyoming for mule deer.
Oh, nice.
What about you?
I just put in for elk, but since I got drawn last year, same boat, 0 points. I doubt I'll get drawn. Yeah, other than that, I don't have anything right now. I put the kids in for elk, antelope.
Nice.
My youngest one, she has a javelina hunt in February.
Okay.
But that's about all we have right now.
How do they taste? We've seen quite a few javelinas. I was so tempted to shoot one. I didn't have a tag or anything, so I couldn't do that. But it kind of made me think maybe I should pick up a tag next time I come down and elk hunt or mule deer hunt or something like that.
Yeah, those things are made for archery hunting. They are a lot of fun to hunt with a bow.
Yeah, I bet they are.
As far as taste, it depends on how you cook it. They're pretty hard to cook.
Okay.
It's more of a whiter meat. You have to cook it like pork, cook it well done. They have absolutely no fat on them, so it's real easy to dry them out. My recommendation, is usually a slow cooker and then some sort of a sauce to go along with it.
Right on.
Something to marinate it real well.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. What else you got, man?
That's it, man.
Cool.
Just excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. This has been awesome. You're a machine on the trails, a dedicated coach, passionate hunter. Thank you for sharing your story and your mindset with us. We appreciate you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
All right, take care, buddy.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
That's a wrap for this episode. Remember to stretch those legs, scout new trails, and share Join Team Hunt with a friend. The next story with that ultimate team is just around the bend.